me again. So to continue my Q&A, to give you guys a little bit background, I had my friends ask me on Instagram and Facebook about anything they like to know about my journey as a nursing student. And yeah, thank you guys again for the questions. So I promise to keep your identities confidential and anonymous. That's why I'm not putting any names or usernames. So the most asked was my study habits. I actually got around 5 or 6 of these from my Instagram and Facebook both combined. So to tell you first, guys, I have never pulled an all-nighter in my life before, and also I never drank coffee. I don't like coffee at all. So I've decided that I divide my study habits into 3 categories depending on the location I'm doing the learning. So I'm going to first discuss my study habits when I'm at school, and the second one when I'm at home or in my dorm, and the third one will be while I'm on duty. So yeah, let's proceed to the first one. So study habit number 1. When I'm at school, I always try to stay alert all the time, especially during lectures, because it's just hours and hours of lectures at some days. And I just try to not miss out on anything. And also, in order to do that, I also have a standard amount of time of sleeping. So I always sleep at least 6 hours a day. A lot of my dorm mates who I actually lived with when I was in uni asked me, how do I do it? So I have just one tip for you guys, and that is time management. I mean, I've never mastered the skill, but I try to manage my time well so that I won't miss out on self-care like sleeping. And given how dense our curriculum and nursing is here in the Philippines, you really need to learn everything in such a small amount of time. So yeah, I think being alert and awake in class is the first step in passing your subjects. So my second tip will be to always write notes, if you have the motivation to do so. But I usually write notes during lectures, and I usually do it by handwriting because there are just some topics that are best explained through drawings. And also, our professors have a way of making things easier to understand. So I think it is really crucial that you do listen in class and then take notes for future reference. And for my third study habit, in addition to writing notes, I do use note-taking abbreviations. Have you experienced taking notes wherein everything just seemed so fast and your hands are becoming so numb? Or you're just plainly sleepy and then you just kind of write whatever. And when you come back to those notes in the future, all you can see are all rhythms looking like ventricular fibrillation. So practically you can't use them anymore because you can't understand whatever you have written on that given topic. So given that you do need to study about the topic and you don't have time to read the book, and then you just don't know what to do but ask your classmates notes, but sometimes if you do it again and again, people will be like, it has a negative connotation, guys, if you do always ask notes from other people. So there's one thing that I can suggest that you do in order to be able to have better notes. So that is learning abbreviations. So for example, if we have lectures, when the professor says diagnosis, I don't write the whole word. I just use DX. And then for treatment, TX. And then for therefore, I use the 3 dots that were taught to us in math class. And also, for another study habit tip, I ensure that I have a planner or something that I could write on for my schedules or deadlines. So while I was in uni, I was blessed to have classmates that would list everything on their notepad or on their iPhone. They would send it to the group chat. So again, I may have not said that to you guys, but thank you so much. So in addition to that, although I know that there would be some people who would always send our dues, I would also always keep a personal planner with me. So as I mentioned before, I also tend to do things right away, and I would like to keep my to-do list clear as far as possible. Although that won't be possible if you're in nursing school, because it seems like every week there's just something going on. And if there would be any late announcements, I would not compromise whatever it is that I have to do right now, because I won't be doing it all at the same time, you know. But sometimes I do fail on doing this, because sometimes I'm just bombarded with a lot of things that I kind of get messy at some points. But you know, at the end of the day, you have to get up and like do your work and organize your things so that you'll stay on the right track. So that would be my study habits when I'm at school. So for the next part or category, I'm gonna discuss what my study habits are when I'm already at home, or in my case, in my dorm. So the first thing that I always do is to keep things organized. What I did even when I was still in first year in uni is that I tried to organize everything in one folder. Like everything I studied in anatomy and physiology will be located in one folder, and everything that I studied in pediatrics or obstetrics. And also when you're already in fourth year of nursing, you kind of need to go back to everything so that if you need future reference, you can just easily locate it. Just keep things efficient and easy for your future self, you know. And speaking of organization and time management, I've tried studying at night. I've tried studying early in the morning. I've tried not studying at all. I concluded that the best time for me to study was when I was mentally prepared to do it. I ensured that I would really get some rest or a little break before I go on to studying. I never really have a formula wherein like I always study at night, I always study early in the morning. I just kind of juggle everything depending on the time I have left to study for something, because sometimes after lectures or duty you go home around 6 or 8 and then you still have classes the next day. So you kind of need to estimate what you can do on that given time left without compromising, you know, your sleep. So I rest my mind not only by sleeping. Sometimes I do walk around the campus, or sometimes I go for a jog at night, or sometimes I just go to dinner with some of my friends, or just talk with my roommates in my dorm. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Also, I make sure that I go to a place wherein there's no Wi-Fi connection. So I basically can't turn off my phone because my parents would call me anytime, and I don't want to make them worry since we're kilometers away from each other. I do always have my phone with me when I study, but I turn off the Wi-Fi. But I do check it from time to time because late announcements, surprise quizzes may just come up anytime. And also I would like to thank whoever our presidents were during our time in uni. You guys are the big bosses. Thank you so much. So for the last category, which is my study habits when I'm on duty, I would like to start with ensuring that I prepare all the things I needed to do a night before or hours before I leave the dorm, because time is really important when you go on duty. You cannot be late or else you'll have a makeup duty, and then you also cannot forget anything because that would mean you'll have a makeup duty, and you need to be fully alert. You need to know what you're doing. So yeah, sleep guys before you go on duty, because also not knowing anything or being sabaw on duty would eventually lead up to another makeup duty. Having a lot of errors and mistakes is one of the things that nursing school is trying to deter you from making. That's why they do give makeup duties. Always print out whatever you needed to bring. Always prepare your things. Bring your stethoscope, your small notebooks, your pencil, your different colored pens. Basically, prepare everything before you leave your house, okay? And also another tip would be to always communicate with your RLE mates, because in nursing school we are grouped according to our RLE groups, meaning related learning experience groups. These are the people that you're going to work with when you're on duty for the rest of the years you're in nursing school. So group dynamics is really important, you guys. So being there for each other and helping each other out and recognizing that a person needs help in your group is really important. So it would be really nice to help each other out in times wherein you don't really know what you're doing. We have a lot to learn, and it's okay to admit that you need help. We just do need to lend each other a hand sometimes, and yeah. And lastly, have an ultimate small notebook or tickler, or however you call it, because one of the paraphernalias that we're asked to bring always would be our small notebooks. So without that, you'd get a makeup duty. So I realized this when I was already in 4th year in nursing school. I bring 2 small notebooks, and every duty, one would be specific for the certain area wherein you have to write your patient's details and everything, and the other one would be full of things that I learned from my previous duties. Like for example, when we give medications, you do need to tell your clinical instructor about how the drug works, what are the side effects. So I write it on my ultimate small notebook, and then when I go to another area for my clinical rotation and then encounter the same drug, it would be easy for me to look it up on my small notebook. It is not only the medications that you can write on your ultimate small notebook. You can write practice FDARs or anything, so that if you encounter it in the future, you'd be able to look back, and then if you encounter a new one, you just write it down, you know, so that you'd have only one reference notebook that you can use. So yeah, I like to have things organized and easy to locate, and I like to save my time always. So that is all that I can share to you guys right now. So I don't really deal with things that can just alleviate my anxiety at a given period. I think about and plan it out in a way that would be easier for my future self, because if you just give band-aid solutions on every problem, it would just come back and again and again and again. So I might like do it with more effort and more brainstorming right now than continuously be having the problem in the future, you know. So that's just it, guys. Thank you so much for watching my videos, and yeah, if you have any video suggestions or anything, just comment down below. There would be like a part 3 for the Q&A, because I still have a lot of questions to answer, and I thank you all again for participating and supporting me in whatever my endeavors are. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. See you on my next video. Bye bye. And oh, one of my friends asked me how to be a consistent DINS lister. I don't know. It's just that I do everything as efficient as I can and as time conserving as I can without sacrificing the quality of whatever I do. So yeah, time management is really important. I cannot stress this enough, you guys. So yeah, that's all for now. Goodbye again.